So the news that broke yesterday, we led the show with it yesterday, is that Tua Tagovailoa, just a couple years removed from his massive contract extension, is now benched for Quinn Ewers, who at this point last year was getting set to survive an afternoon with Cam Scatterbo in, I think, the best college football playoff game of last year.
It was
game was pretty good. Yeah, the game was pretty good.
You went to overtime.
Fourth down touchdown, right, to tie that up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Was it to Golden or Bond?
Oh.
Look that one up. I'm sure Texas fans are screaming at their radio right now with the correct answer. But anyway, long story short, Quinn Ewers is now, as the college football playoff world is beginning, is the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, with Zach Wilson as the backup and 3 games to go in a season that is now officially over in terms of playoff contention for the Dolphins, despite a 4-game win streak and 5 wins in 6 games to get themselves out of a 2-7 hole, only to have the Steelers end their season on Monday Night Football, bringing about this benching. This is what Mike McDaniel had to say about why he made the decision.
So why the decision to go with Quinn, and also who will be your number 2 this weekend?
So the decision is complicated but simple. The simple piece is I think Quinn gives this team the best chance to win. Our focus is obviously to win the next 3 games, but in particular, like I tell the players, we are focused on beating the Bengals, so that was the motivation. Zach will be backing him up, and Tua will be the emergency third.
And what was the thinking in having Tua be the third as opposed to the backup?
I think it was the best for all parties involved, Quinn, Zach, and Tua.
Man.
Not for long.
Well, here's the thing, man. To hear the best chance to win, we didn't give him that cliche. We gave him all the other cliches to use as a coaching crutch. But he gives us the best chance to win. He gives the best chance to win. Quinn Ewers is not taking his starting snap in the National Football League. He's taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to go point for point with the Bengals this weekend. The Bengals are playing out the string. We'll hear from Burrow in a second.
The Bengals who scored 0 last week.
I understand what they scored last week, Chris, but I don't think Joe Burrow is going to get shut out 2 times in a row, and I didn't go higher register on that one either. But Quinn,
I don't think so either,
Chris,
just saying.
Let's not lose sight of a coach saying that a guy making his first career start, drafted in the 7th round, in his estimation, gives the team a better chance to win than Tua. And I'm just wondering if it's more than the interceptions, 15 that leads the league, or the fact that they are eliminated from playoff contention. Remember when Tua was talking about after the game, hey, he was talking as if he was, the first string quarterback and captain and leader of this team. And, we've got to all look in the mirror and take responsibility and things of that nature. And I'm like, I was even wondering, how did the rest of the locker room look at Tua for that sort of leadership, if it rings hollow at all? And again, I'm not there. I don't know. But I do know what people like J.J. Watt and others who observe the game now were talking about Tua chit-chatting with Jalen Ramsey afterwards on the field, laughing it up.
Yep.
Your team's just been eliminated from playoff contention, and I know he's a former teammate, but you are the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I'm just wondering if, again, we only see the tip of the iceberg, and this may be irresponsible of me to just even spitball on this. But that may be the complicated part of it that he doesn't want to mention. I'll just say, here's the simple thing. I'll just go out there and say, this kid gives us the best chance to win. Because I guess he's not going to come out and say, we need to go and see if we have Tua's successor already on the roster before we go into the talent evaluation portion of our calendar. I guess he's not going to say that publicly. But that's apparently what's happening right now. Because Tua's got more neck-up ability in the NFL and experience playing football games than Quinn Ewers does. So there's that. And then McDaniel was asked in the press conference, listen to this answer. He was asked in the press conference if there was any sort of regret or second guessing of himself since he was advocating for Tua to be re-signed, and now he's benched a season later.
The way my brain works is I'm not. You're talking about emotions, and I have no idea. Like the emotions are not part of my duty, and in times where there's tough decisions to be made, the furthest thing from my scope is how I feel. People are depending on me to do with full intentionality everything as best as I can do it. So thinking about those broad scopes, that's dismissive to the players in that locker room, that's dismissive to this team. So I don't go there, not because it doesn't exist, but because people are counting on me not to go there.
What an answer. Very long-winded way of saying, or how about shit? A very McDaniel way of saying, F my feelings. I'm the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And I guess kudos to him to say, I'm not throwing good snaps after bad just because I was advocating for this sort of thing.
Right.
Certainly, since, again, if his way of staying head coach of the Dolphins is, well, Tua's not going anywhere because we're paying him all that money, and my system is the best for him. For him to basically say, let's see what we got in Quinn Ewers, I think is gutsy, if I may say.
Maybe even another word that you don't want to say.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But the NFL knows who Zach Wilson is. We don't really know who Quinn Ewers is.
I would give Zach a run. I don't understand.
It is kind of weird.
What do you mean?
I'd give him some run.
How many games has Zach Wilson started in the NFL?
More than Quinn Ewers.
Well, and that's the point. We've seen him play as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
How many times have we said, and you even pointed out the other day that Goff, once upon a time on this show, said give someone 5 years. I mean, tonight's starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks makes a good point, and he's, makes a good case. And also, he's once upon a time was drafted a spot later in the draft than Zach Wilson was after Darnold didn't work out for the Jets. I don't know. I'd give him a shot. If Ewers looks lost against the Bengals.
He started 33 games.
Yeah, and then he can start next week.
Maybe so. We'll see. I guess you want to give the kid some run first. And maybe he's shown some stuff behind the scenes, running scout team. I can't have had much snaps. We talk about all the time how, backups don't get many snaps. And then on top of it, third stringers. That was the whole to-do with Shedeur Sanders. How many third stringers get snaps? Yeah. The answer is none. It wasn't any negative personal feelings from management towards Shedeur. It just doesn't happen.
Also, pedigree kind of counts here. Zach Wilson kind of came out of nowhere to be the number 2 pick in the draft. Quinn Ewers was the number 1 high school player. He left high school early to go to Ohio State. There wasn't a spot for him. He transferred to Texas. This guy has been highly touted his entire football playing career.
And then in terms of what you look for in the next level to succeed early is reps and starts at the collegiate level, and Ewers had a good amount of those.
Yeah. I think it's fair to give him a shot.
I'm not saying it's unfair. I'm just saying maybe you would give, if it doesn't work out in the 4 quarters here, or he looks lost, or the Bengals just beat him up. Maybe you take a look at Zach Wilson. But the thing that's kind of crazy, think about this, okay? Think about this. As the Carolina Panthers go into the final 3 weeks of the season, all right? And you take a look at who they're taking on the next 2 weeks to try and win games. The starting quarterbacks that they're facing the rest of the season are Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, who, as you know, do not recall their Carolina time fondly. Crazy stuff goes on in the NFL. Just nuts. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.